Hello and welcome to the Broad Street Hockey Podcast here. Officially launched the YouTube today, so make sure you are subscribed there. You can check it out on broadstreethockey.com there, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Going to try to be incorporating more screen sharing and graphics to get you guys over on YouTube. But if not, if you're along with us, you know us already. But if you are new, I am your host Ryan Gilbert, and joining me is my co-host Joe DeMarini.
Oh, that's a good one.
How's it going,
I like
Joe?
that one. It's going pretty good.
Any long wait lists you've been on recently that you recently got off of today or anything?
Well, funny you should mention that. Not sponsored. # not sponsored. But I put my name.
If they want to sponsor,
we would love it. If anyone out there works for Rancho Gordo, please get at me. We will gladly take that sponsorship. No, I signed up for their waiting list for the Bean Club, where they send you, like every 3 months, they send you a collection of beans. And there's a wait list for it. And I put my name on it like a year ago. And this morning I got an email saying, hey, a spot's opened up. And I was like, woo, I'm getting beans. I'm getting beaned.
Yeah, getting beamed up. And then you put that in the Broad Street Hockey Slack there, and you were
getting
roasted for it. Yeah.
Got roasted for it. Except Kelly. Kelly Hinkle was like, everyone is making fun of you. But I'm actually genuinely curious. So, and then I think Cole just came in and is like, those beans are legit. So,
yeah,
vindication.
Cole had a positive review of the Rancho Gordo beans. So I'm excited for you. I'm hoping we get some bean updates throughout. When do they start? Like this month, next month?
I think the first one's like this month, and then the next one's in November, and then they're like every 3 months from there. So sweet. It's like $50 a month. You get like 5 bags of beans and then some bonus thing. It's fine by me. I want to eat more beans.
Go for it, yeah.
Gotta get those beans.
I look forward to all the bean updates here on Broad Street, the Broad Street Beancast.
The Bean Street Hockey.
Bean Street Hockey, yeah. We're recording here again on a Monday. We recorded last Monday, right before the Ryan Johansen news drop. We'll get into that in a little bit. Yeah, we're going to start off with some news around the NHL, kind of related to the Flyers here. You've heard by now, but Yaroslav Askarov has been traded to the Sharks for Vegas's first-round pick in 2025 that they got from the Hurdle trade. David Edstrom, which was the Golden Knights' first-round pick, 32nd overall in 2023, and Magnus Krona, who's like a Sharks kind of goalie prospect, maybe a backup, maybe a tandem guy. Flyers were not among the reported interested teams. Colorado, Montreal, New Jersey, Utah, and others, according to Elliot Friedman. I don't think I wanted the Flyers to get Askarov. I don't think that was ever really a realistic possibility. But what did you think of this trade here?
It's hefty. Good for Nashville. They're really just trying to retool, and they are doing it. For the Sharks, like, they've got their core: Will Smith, Macklin Celebrini, Sam Dickinson, Askarov, and then they've got a couple of other guys who are looking good, like Eklund and Quentin Musty. Like, I can see that team coming together. I can see what they're doing. And some of the returns Greer has gotten for his other trades, like the Carlson trade, even Timo Meier, maybe even Thomas Hertl, like, he got first-round picks for all of them, but maybe he could have gotten more from Carlson if he'd retained more salary. He had to basically give away Brent Burns. So the jury's still out if he's actually successfully GMing the Sharks through this rebuild, but I can see the vision, and I like the bold move to get Askarov. Like, if he hits, damn, they are a legit team in the West 5 years from now.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're definitely set up for success there with all of their prospects. Celebrini, Will Smith, William Eklund, like you said. I mean, they got a few decent young guys. Luke Kunin, Kim Costin, kind of getting some playing time there.
Is he a young guy still?
Klim Kost, he's 25. He's younger than us.
Yeah.
Just looking at their Puckpedia. But yeah, I mean, Greer was really handcuffed going in there with the Burns contract, with the Carlson contract, with this Vlasic contract even. I mean, really in a pickle there on defense. Vlasic under contract, $7 million until the end of next year. Gave up a third round or got a third round pick with Cody Ceci, who, they could easily just flip in season or trade deadline or something.
That was a weird trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's kind of seemed like it was Greer doing his old team a favor a little bit, but we'll see there. Askarov probably gets the net now. They also have Mackenzie Blackwood, former New Jersey Devils great, and other former Devil Vitek Vanacek, two former Devils there. I have to imagine Askarov has the runway to the starting job there. It's his job to lose.
Oh my God. Sorry to interrupt. I just looked at their buyouts. Guess what name is on their buyout cap for 3 more years?
Oh, they buy out Martin Jones?
They did. Our good buddy Martin Jones has 3 more years against the Sharks cap. What? Wow. What a legend.
Magic hands smart there. I forgot about that. But
incredible.
And the Sharks haven't yet. I guess Tyler Toffoli's contract, $6 million for 4 years, is a bit expensive. Still have Logan Couture, $8 million for 3 more years, but they haven't signed any of those Red Wings contracts yet. Those Ducks contracts, they overpaid Gudis and Comtois, and I think they have Killorn there too. One of the
in Anaheim they do,
yeah, for the Ducks. Like they're starting to rebuild as well. But yeah, it's good. Good to see these California teams. You want to be able to have good hockey to stay up for if you're watching late hockey, not just the Kings getting a 2-0 lead and then playing the trap.
Yeah, I mean, like I probably told the story before. Freshman year of college, there was a guy on my dorm floor who was a big Sharks fan, and he would always just say, "Sharks hockey is losing hockey." So, fun fact here: it looks like the active roster, they have 24 of 23 contracts and 51 of 50. So,
gotta make a move.
Someone's gonna have to go.
Gotta make a move. Yeah. Other goalie news happening today, not on the sheet, so throwing out kind of a blind item here. Apparently, Jeremy Swayman is asking for $10 million is what he's seeking, according to someone from WEEI.
AAV?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, the Panthers just won a cup with a $10 million goalie. They traded away Allmark. This is when someone should swoop in and, I mean, maybe offer sheet them. They only have $8.6 million in cap space. I don't know. He's never played a full season, but if he is as good as he's shown, he's worth it. Korpisalo can be a decent backup, and he can start 50 games. But
Swayman's an RFA.
Yeah,
isn't he?
Yeah, he has
what
not
the
signed.
Fuck?
Yeah, so the Bruins are in a bind.
They can't. There's no way that he can do that, and they just traded Olmark too.
Yeah, so he has all the leverage.
Does he? He's an RFA. They could take him to arbitration and it won't be 10 million, but he could still get something.
I read or I heard something, I believe, on 32 Thoughts about, I think one of the Oilers players didn't want to go to arbitration because then the player can pick the length of the contract and it'll just take them to the UFA, which Swayman could do. Okay, go to arbitration, give me a 2-year deal, I'll leave in 2 years. Or he'll be really disgruntled and request a trade. Like, I mean, yeah, he can. The Bruins cannot pay him, but I don't think they're. Maybe it's a stretch to say they're not a playoff team without him, but they're not a cup contending team without Swayman.
No,
I don't think.
And they can pay him. They just can't pay him $10 million a year.
Yeah, they have 8.6 in cap space. I'm sure they have some guys they can send down, or LTIR or something to get there. But yeah, this could drag into training camp at this point.
Jesus Christ. Well, that's some spicy news.
Yeah.
I'm not trading for Swayman. I'm not going to offer sheet him for that much, but someone might.
Yeah, let's see what teams have. Ducks have 21 million in cap space. I mean, they have Gibson and Dostal though. Flames, they have Dustin Wolf though. Red Wings, Blue Jackets have 15 million. Sharks can't do it. Utah 9.9 million.
Blackhawks
6.6, but I'm sure they have a bunch of LTIR guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's leaving. I mean, it's a negotiation tactic by Swayman, but interesting to see that.
Sure.
Yeah.
No.
But back to the Askarov trade. We were trying to figure out what the Flyers would potentially trade for Askarov. The Flyers equivalent you have here on the sheet: Edmonton or the Avs first, which I agree with, plus Bonk. I don't think Bonk would have been that second piece. Maybe like a Emil Andre or Samu Tuamala or
I mean,
someone in that level. I know they wanted a center was the big thing probably.
Yeah, I guess that would be. Well, is Nolan Burke a center? I don't know about that.
Is Nolan Burke like a part of it, or is he like a throw-in?
Yeah, he was. I don't know.
I'm saying like is he like someone like they asked for?
Oh.
He had 15 points in the ECHL last year. So I don't.
Oh, he's probably just useless. That was just contract moving.
Yeah, it's like including German Rubtsov in the Giroux trade or whatever trade that was. Connor Bunneman as well. Yeah.
Buns.
The Bunneman man.
Missed that guy.
Yeah. So I mean, I tweeted when this happened that I would have paid this price for Askarov. Probably would have been a first round pick, definitely, plus a decent prospect. And they may have had to give up Ursin or Kolosov as well, because the Sharks did get Magnus Cronenbeck. They did get, or the Preds got Magnus Cronenbeck, another young goalie who can hopefully take over for them once Wedgwood is a free agent in 2 years, I would imagine. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's just the high swing upside of a goalie. The Sharks absolutely should have done it. It's good for them, but
great move for them.
I think the Flyers should have as well.
I don't know about that. I still think that the Flyers' more glaring needs are at center and at defense. And like a great goalie helps you win cups, but you can get by with it, but you can't do that with just like an average center or an average top defenseman. You need a bit more talent back there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need at least one or two good centers there, but I think centers become available more often than goalies do. Like even this offseason, like Marco Rossi's out there, Trevor Zegras has been in the rumors. Like it's rare to see a goalie with this high of a ceiling at the very least become available. When like you can overpay in free agency for a center and it'll be a good center, but if you overpay in free agency for a goalie, it could be another one of these, Jack Campbell situations where he's just.
But awful. It could be Bobrovsky.
It could be a boat too.
It could be Bob. It could be a boat.
Yeah, it could be a boat. You never know.
You never know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm skeptical. I think I could see the logic if they had made that move, but I was not like keen for them to do it as you were.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. We think they have their goalie set for this year, trying to decide who's going to be the tandem there. I mean, Fedotov and Ursin. So we'll see which ones emerges.
Who knows? You wrote it in the sheet. Maybe they were in on it, but the Flyers are just super tight-lipped about like anything they do, and nobody knew that they were in on it. So,
that's one thing I did want to touch on about this front office. Like, but before you were a fan, like the Flyers were always like, "Oh, the Flyers are interested in this guy. They want this guy, shiny new toy here, left and right." And I don't remember there being over the past in Brier's tenure really be like, "Oh, the Flyers are interested in making this move." Like it's maybe like, okay, teams are interested in this Flyers player. It's never like, "Oh, Flyers are considering trading for this player or even signing this player." I think it like happened maybe once. I can't think of the specific player off the top of my head, but very, very tight-lipped. So when they're not mentioned in on somebody, I don't take it to be that they definitely weren't. It's just like, okay, it didn't leak.
Yeah. I mean, the Flyers of old walked so the Vegas Golden Knights of now could run. I think that like Vegas stunned us all at the trade deadline when they made that trade for Hurdle. Like that was just, it was right at the deadline. It came in like minutes before and nobody saw it coming, which was dope as fuck. But I would love to see the Flyers start doing that again, but we're a few years away from anything of that exciting level of trade.
Still quite a few years away from that. Yes. But another trade happened kind of having to do with the Flyers here with the Penguins acquiring Rutger McGroarty from the Winnipeg Jets for Brandon Yeager.
Braden Yeager. Mm-hmm.
Brendan Yeager was the first round pick in last year's draft, I want to say.
They were both 14th. I think they were both 14th overall.
Yeah. And then McGroarty was not going to play in Winnipeg. So now he goes to Pittsburgh. Could end up playing rookie season on Sidney Crosby's wing or Evgeny Malkin's wing. Like, this is a big trade for Penguins and McGroarty.
Yeah, I mean, it helps the Penguins in the sense that they get younger, but also have more immediate NHL help. Like, Yeager's probably maybe going to be the better player in 5 or 6 years, but that's 5 or 6 years from now. You have Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin now. It's the last year of Crosby's contract. You have Erik Karlsson now. So, I think McGroarty's going to play. He did sign his ELC after the trade, so he's making the roster out of camp because he was a college player, so he can't go back to school now that he's signed. So he's playing.
Yeah, and the Penguins don't really have many other wingers to compete for a job there. Top 6. Rickard Rakell is projected to be on the top line. Brian Rust, of course. Michael Bunting, and then McGroarty is projected to be the second line winger here. Then a third line of Drew O'Connor, Kevin Hayes, and Cody Glass. So
Kevin Hayes, I forgot he was there.
Yeah, he'll score a back-breaking goal against the Flyers in one of these games. I'm sure.
That Jake Gensel hole rather is that's pretty glaring at this point, isn't it? That's that's a pretty big gap there.
And if Crosby or Malkin show their age, 37 and 38 respectively, this could be a really bad Penguins team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't signed an extension yet if he intends to keep playing. I'm sure it'll happen at some point in the season, but I
don't know. I could see him leaving, especially if the Penguins, especially if they have a bad season. Like, they tried to do the last dance thing last year,
didn't work.
I guess Letang's under contract till 2028.
I just saw that. That's crazy, dude. He's 37. He's the same age as Crosby.
Yeah, the Penguins are.
Wild.
They're in the mix for a playoff spot, definitely, as they're always going to be when they have.
Never count out their core.
Yeah, they're going to be on the cliff there though for these next few years.
Oh my God! Also, Tristan Jarry is signed until 2028. That's just yikes, guys.
Yeah. So
yikes.
Hopefully the Flyers don't have too many of those contracts down the pike here. But right now they don't. Right now it's just I guess Couturier people are saying maybe. Or the Ristolainen, but
that's done in 2 years, 3 years. Like, who gives a shit? He's going to get traded by Christmas if he's healthy.
Well, the Oilers are shopping for right-handed defensemen now after they lost Ceci and Broberg. So
they don't have the money.
Flyers could take back a bad contract.
Who?
I'm sure the Oilers have plenty of bad contracts.
Yeah, bad contracts, yeah, but trade clauses, I'm not so sure. Maybe they can take back.
Maybe they take back an Arvidsson or a Henrique if they don't work out up there. Don't do that, Joe. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, that's kind of Matthias Ekholm. He's too good to
unless maybe Ekholm gets hurt, he's too good to dump off.
Brett Kulak.
Cody Ceci was the guy to dump off.
He was.
Dumped him off to San Jose.
Jack Campbell.
Put him down in the AHL with Cal Peterson.
Peterson. Oh my God! Imagine that goalie tandem.
A $10 million tandem in the AHL.
Hey, I mean, Cal Peterson's contract's only got this year left on it, so you need an overpaid vet down there afterwards, right? Might as well be Jackie Camp.
Yeah, good Campbell Soup playing, and they can relocate to Camden.
Oh wait, no, they bought him out. Yeah, they bought him out.
Wait, Jack Campbell?
Yeah.
He's with the Red Wings now.
Yeah.
That's
all right. Still learning to navigate Puckpedia. I saw his name and I thought it was under buried, not buyout retained. So they bought him out. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, 1 year, $775,000 for Jack Campbell, who is a client of one Kurt Overhart, which is a fantastic segue here into the next topic.
Oh boy.
everyone's talked about it. It happened. I think it came out on last Tuesday. We recorded on Monday, so it's been in and out of the news cycle at this point. But if you've been living under a rock or just want to hear us talk about it, here we go. Flyers want to terminate the contract of Ryan Johansen. He cleared waivers for termination, but his contract has not been terminated yet. Of course, Johansen's fighting it. It can go three ways. It can be terminated entirely off the books. They can reach a settlement, partial cap hit for this year and maybe next. Or Johansen wins, Flyers look bad and are over the cap and will have to utilize injured reserve. Flyers should become cap compliant through one of the first two ways. It's just a weird thing because Johansen clearly could play. He was practicing and playing with the Avalanche, I think, up to like the night before the trade.
The morning of the trade, he was at morning skate.
Yeah, and then the Flyers traded for him. Danny Briere said he's not becoming a Flyer, and Johansson was like, "Oh no, my hip hurts."
Yeah, which maybe it did, but and now all of a sudden he's supposed to play in Lehigh instead of a cup contending Colorado Avalanche team.
And we know how awful that is, especially the hotel rooms in Lehigh Valley. Ooh, you don't want to be isolated there.
No, definitely they abandon you.
Yeah.
No, it just seems sus. Like in the words of the Among Us players out there, it's real sus. He was at morning skate the day of the trade, said that he was willing to make it work with Torts to play on the team. Flyers said, no, we're waiving you to go to Lehigh Valley. And then he's like, oh, I can't, I'm injured. And the Flyers, I'm guessing that they just, for that part of the season, they're like, fuck, we don't care. Go do it. And then I think they were just going to buy him out in the summer, but you cannot buy out an injured player.
Yeah.
So they couldn't buy him out during the buyout window. Summer rolls on. And then videos on his Instagram come out of him dancing at his wedding. And it's like, must not be that injured if you're dancing at your wedding. So the Flyers go through this. Kurt Overhart releases a statement that says that they have scheduled a surgery for Ryan Johansen, which if he was injured, why would you schedule the surgery for right before training camp and not right at the start of the offseason to be ready to play? So I think the Flyers are like, okay, maybe you are injured, but you have not taken the steps to recover. And now you're just expecting to claim a paycheck and not play. So we're gonna terminate your contract.
Yeah, and it's interesting because this has happened before with Corey Perry and the Blackhawks last year, but it has never happened, according to Puckpedia, with a player who has their some of their salary retained. The Predators are paying $4 million, half of Johansen's contract. He was traded to the Avalanche, who are paying nothing, and then he was traded to the Flyers, who are supposed to be paying the other half. So I imagine it would go to a bit to both there's a settlement, or go both to the Predators and the Flyers. But I mean, this will happen down the road a little bit. I think within 60 days or something, or is that to like when they can terminate the contract?
Oh, I don't remember the exact day-to-day timeline. But I would imagine that the cap hit would be divided the same way it would a buyout, right? So I think Oliver Ekman-Larsson got bought out by the Canucks, right? After he had been traded from Arizona with retained salary, and both of them took the retained salary hit.
Something like that sounds familiar, where like a player got bought out and screws both teams.
Yes.
Yeah, but I guess the reason why they don't want to just put Ryan Johansen on LTIR, which they easily could, is then like that affects their daily cap space that like they can bank during the season, and then they can use later on after the trade deadline if necessary. So this is them wanting to use every asset they can, pinching pennies here, because they have to get under the cap.
And they need to get under the cap because the Johansen contract puts them over. But more importantly, there are certain bonuses involved with Matvei Mishkov's entry-level contract. So they need to bank as much cap space as they can during the regular season so that when those bonuses come through, they are not penalized for it next season.
Yeah, that's something that, I mean, it's hardly ever talked about even. Like, you don't hear about it, and you're like, "Oh, after the year, this player hit this bonus, so this team is screwed now." So, yeah, the Flyers wanna be able to
Hmm.
have that. I'm trying to find what the bonus is
Well,
reported. Well,
it happened to Boston during the last season, I think, after Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci left. Um, so there is recent history because I think the Bruins went over, like they paid them really low contracts for the 1 year with a lot of performance bonuses, and those rolled over to the previous season.
yeah, so here's a tweet or a post from Cap Friendly that was on Reddit, a link that says, 20 goals, 35 assists, 60 points, being top 6 in something, get some bonuses. So, I mean, hopefully he hits them,
Mhm.
and hopefully the Flyers do have to pay them out.
Yeah,
And then even if it's a tough situation, getting under the cap, it would be worth it.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. For more on the Ryan Johansen thing, check out our local our legal counsel at Broad Street Hockey. The other Joe B. He wrote a great
Other
article.
Joe.
The Ryan Johansen Dispute 101. I
Yep.
think was published late last week. So yeah, a lot of stuff broken down in there. Make sure you check that out. Like and subscribe. BroadStreetHockey.com and our
Please like and
YouTube, of
subscribe.
course. Please like and subscribe
Yeah.
our YouTube. Hoping to get that up to a decent count here before the season starts. Yeah, one
Yes.
more thing on Johansson is Friedman put in his 32 thoughts on late Sunday night. What jumped out to me was that he said Agent Kurt Overhart is preparing for a fight, and the Flyers wouldn't pursue this without a behind-the-scenes wink from the NHL. So
Correct.
that's the thing that jumped out to me was that, like, okay, the Flyers know it's at least going to go in their favor somehow. Let's get this done before the season so we can get it done.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not the kind of precedent they necessarily want to be setting. I get questioning players' injuries and then trying to like screw them over out of a contract like this is a bad look. So if the Flyers lose, that would be real bad for their brand. But I like Friedman said, I don't think they'd be pursuing this without at least some confirmation from the NHL that, like, yeah, you're in the right to do this and we'll back you.
Yeah, and makes complete sense just looking at the scenario. Like, he was playing, maybe not fully healthy, but he was healthy enough to play, and then he's not going to report.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the Flyers probably hoped that they could either buy him out if he was healthy or trade him in the offseason. That didn't happen, and now this is where they're at.
Yep.
Yeah, so apparently it's National Goalie Week. I don't know if the NHL made this up or whatnot, but they're tweeting a lot of goalie stuff, a lot of goalie videos and facts and stuff. So we talked some goalies last week with the Askarov trade rumors, but let's get into it here. Flyers going to have Sam Ersson once again in between the pipes, as well as Ivan Fedotov. Last year, Ersson started 49 games, came in 2 in relief. Fedotov also played 3 games, only started 1. How are you feeling about this crease situation heading into this year?
I'm excited to see what happens. I know we disagree. Like, I think Ersson is going to be the starter, full stop, and then Fedotov is going to be the backup. You think it's the other way around. But they seem to really like Ersson as like the goalie of the future. And I think they're going to give him as much opportunity as they can because they know they ran him into the ground at the end of last season, and they're going to try and give him a fair shake to start this year.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely believe in Ersson. They've showed that by not going out to get a veteran goalie to even to compete
Or
with
Askarov.
them, or going out to get Askarov, or being in on him, even if that would have been reported. But yeah, I mean, he's shown that he can be a starter. We talked about it from like November to January before he was worn down. He was one of, besides Hellebuck, the best goalie in the league number wise. So he's shown he can have those flashes. Did the same 2 years ago in January. 4 starts, 5 goals allowed with a shutout, like 948 save percentage. He can do it in smallish sample sizes. I just think he needs to have a solid backup or just be the 1B. I think Fedotov is going to either sink or swim. It's going to be either he's going to be great and he'll be the starter, or we're going to be scared when he's between the pipes. One way or the other, I don't think there's too much of a middle ground. I think if anything, maybe he'll go bad and be like, okay, he needs to get acclimated to North American hockey. I don't know if he's waivers exempt, but maybe they just be like, okay, throw him out there at the NHL. It's a whatever happens season, and we want to see what he can do, especially behind hopefully healthy defense here with Ristolainen hopefully coming in healthy, Drysdale, Sanheim being pretty healthy. So, but yeah, I do think Sam Ersson. Ideally, it's a 50-50 split. Each goalie starts around 40 games. You see what they both can do. We've seen that find success in Boston recent years. Other teams going with complete tandems. So I think that's to get Ersson to like 40, 45 starts, I think is a number I'm comfortable with as long as Fedotov shows that he can be an NHL goalie.
I mean, we say one's the starter, but maybe during camp, Fedotov just absolutely goes on a tear. And he's clearly the number one choice. Maybe they start the season with him as the number one, at least for a little bit, see what happens. I think Ersson's going to get like 50 to 55 games, honestly.
Yeah, he got 49 last year, so that would make sense.
And that was on a condensed timeline. So if he got 50 to 55 this year at a more stable pace with better spacing and more breaks between, depending on whoever the backup is going to be. Yeah, I mean, you've got it written here that the over-under odds are 22.5 wins for Sam Ersson. I think I would bet the over on that. I think it's going to be like 26, at least 26, probably like 30.
Yeah, he hit 23 last year as being, the backup thrown to the wolves a little bit and fighting for his life. So, yeah, if you that would be a solid look there. But I can already hear it in training camp. Everyone's going to ask him who's the starting goalie. John Terrell's going to be. It doesn't matter who the starter is. We got a back-to-back to start the season. They're both going to play. And looking at the Flyers schedule, a lot of condensed games, a lot of back-to-backs.
Yeah,
a lot of just 4 games in 6 nights, something like that. So they're both going to play. And as much as the start of this season kind of sucks with the team being tired, it's a benefit to see, how these goalies can play, get them both in there, get them kind of into a rhythm, and then see what happens.
4-game road trip that we all have to stay up for.
Yes.
Why does the NHL hate us so much?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday are the 4 starting. But this could be good. Teams go on the road, they bond together. This could be a good thing, even if they don't. If they go like 2-2, like it could be a team building thing. They got a back-to-back, then 2 days off, and then 2 and 3. So maybe they can build on that. But yeah, goalie wise, I can already hear the goalie controversy in training camp, especially if Fedotov has like one good preseason outing. Like he has like a shutout for like half a game before they switch him. Like it'll just be goalie controversy in Philly, just like it always is.
When does a Russian goalie not bring controversy to this city?
So
has that ever
happened?
Always.
It always has. So
there'll be one on the books for however many more years it is. 2027. Is that when Brizgalov finally comes off the books?
Yes, I believe it is 2027 for Briz. That's not listed on Puckpedia here. It was on Cap Friendly, I think, because it's not against the cap, but it's not listed here on Puckpedia. Might have to contact them to get.
We we have it saved in the Broad Street Hockey article queue. One of the former staff members left us a parting gift of a news article about when Brizgalov's contract comes off the Flyers book. So we have that to look forward to in however many years it actually is.
Yeah, it'll be a joyous day when that happens. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited about this season's goaltending. Like we the past few years, Carter Hart, like you were always kind of hopeful that he would hit that ceiling of his, and he's not in the league anymore due to him being, and fuck exactly. So Ersson still 24, still relatively young, so he can. I think he's going to be a good 1B. I think that's going to be not his ceiling, but I think that's most likely what he's going to be. And if Fedotov can be a decent 1A or 1B himself, like maybe the Flyers can prop that up with their depth and their Tortorella style of play in front of them.
I might be lower on Fedotov than everyone else. I think 1B is his ceiling. I'm more expecting him to just be a number 2, straight up. Like,
but he's so big. He can just.
So what? The league is full of big goalies, and guess what? Most of them stink.
Yeah.
I think Magnus Krona's like 6'5" or something. Like Mads Sogard, I think, is the Ottawa Senators goalie. I think he's huge.
Tall. Yeah.
I think Linus Ullmark is tall.
A lot of big goalies,
but he's actually good. Yeah, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Yeah,
it's just how it is.
Yeah, there's no Ben Bishop. Yeah, Mikko Koskinen 6'7" was not good. Mads Sogard and Fedotov are all tied apparently at 6'7", even though I think Elite Prospects says 6'8" for Fedotov. So might have to get a back-to-back going for Fedotov and
might have to
Ben Bishop.
I mean, like the best short goalie in the league is probably Juuse Saros. He's 6 feet flat apparently, and he compensates for it because he's just so goddamn athletic and reads the plays so well. But like, that's not the standard. But yeah, I don't know. Even Fedotov, he big, but I don't know. We'll see. I wish he had kept the straight white mask like that from his early NHL days, because he hadn't had the custom mask. He just had that white stormtrooper mask, and it looked badass as fuck. But
yeah, that was cool. But his KHL numbers are promising. 8 years, 133 games, like a big sample size. 921 save percentage, 930 save percentage in 31 playoff games. Like, he was above 917, 919, 914 in every year in the KHL. Like, he hasn't had really a bad year. So I think it's just a matter of if he can kind of come over to North American ice, faster game, smaller rink, and see if he can get that.
Was he on a good team though?
He was on CSKA Moskva for most of those years. Tractor as well, Tractor. But I remember looking before, like, okay, last year the backup goalie for CSKA Moscow had a 937 save percentage. Fedotov had 914. Other backup had 907. Good team. Year before that, Fedotov started 26 games, had 919. Other guys started 21 games, had a 902. So, I mean, just give me a 900 save percentage. That's all the Flyers need. League average, and they'll be in the playoffs.
You also have to consider the dichotomy of how the KHL is set up. Like, there's clearly like an upper echelon of teams, and then a clear bottom feeder group of teams that are just god awful. So it can really skew goalie save percentages just because, you know, they have to play those really bad teams, and then the goalies just look really good because they're playing a shitty team. Yeah, imagine playing a team worse than the San Jose Sharks half the season.
Are you saying there's something in Russia that's rigged? This is breaking news from Joe DeMarini.
Shocking news. Yeah, I'm hearing that KHL teams are rigged by who has the most money.
It sounds like. I'm told.
Sounds like. I'm told. I am told. I'm reading. No, I'm not reading. I'm hearing.
You're hearing. You can't be reading. You got to use your ears. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Print. We're pivoting the video. Even Broad Street Hockey. Please like and subscribe on our YouTube.
Subscribe.
We're pivoting the video. No, we're not. Also, going to be plenty of good written content at BroadStreetHockey.com. But yeah, let's also go to something else that if the Flyers have a league average, one of it, they could be in the playoffs. The Flyers power play. Everyone's saying how Matt Michkov is going to save the power play. Don't have to get too deep into it right now, but who would you have on your top 5 man unit, top unit?
My first power play unit. Matvei Michkov.
Okay.
Yeah. Jamie Drysdale.
Okay.
Probably still Sean Couturier, just for the vision. Maybe Morgan Frost. And I guess Travis Konechny makes the most sense, right?
Yeah, and then you have Owen Tippett left off.
He'd be on unit 2 with Joel Farabee. Maybe I'd put Morgan Frost and Tippett and Joel Farabee on unit 2, and then Tyson Forster on unit 1. Because if they go back to a chip and chase thing, he's really good along the boards. So if they do chip and chase and Forster gets in there after it, he could recover the puck and get it back to his guys.
I don't know.
So I think I'll go with that.
Michkov though, like that might be better on the second unit, because I can't imagine them chip and chasing with Michkov but I do like Drysdale in that top unit, and I liked what I saw from Drysdale and Frost on the power play. I know they had a few plays where I think Frost scored one off of a pass from Drysdale. I think Drysdale is going to be one of the surprising storylines this year. I think he's definitely going to take a step up after a full off season of health, and coming in, what to expect. Will probably be caught off guard a little bit by Torch's rope skates, but
the bag skate.
Only going to help him out for the season. I mean, he has a high ceiling. People forget like Drysdale's like first round pick, should be a good offensive defenseman, and I think Drysdale, Michkov, Konechny on the other side. Yeah, I think I like Couturier net front because he's slow, but you don't need speed necessarily if you're playing net front on the power play. Maybe he can become a little bit. He can't become a specialist there, but like maybe if he can turn into a player who can block the goalie's vision, get some tips in front, he adds some value to his massive contract. And then
Rasmus Ristolainen is the best at that.
That maybe, could you think I could put Fedotov in front of the net on the power play? That would work.
He's a fast skater.
He's a great
fast skater.
Yeah.
He could get up there.
Yeah. The Flyers have like
that's a lot of gear to carry too.
Yeah, the Flyers have like 5 or 6 like wingers. Like, okay, maybe he should be the top. Like Forster, Tippett, Farabee, Brink. Mm-hmm. Brink was even decent on the power play. Like, they have these guys. It's just going to be about finding the right combination.
I like Brink on unit 2, I think, but I wouldn't be too fussed. How about you? What's your top unit?
Yeah, very similar to yours. I have it written out on my back of my Flyers calendar, which is from last year calendar. Drysdale at the point, Michkov on the side, Konechny on the other side, Couturier net front, and then either Frost or Tippett as the bumper there in the middle, depending. Because I don't know if they want Michkov to run the power play or be available for a shot. I think that's going to be interesting to see how kind of things gel there.
Yeah, and we won't know that till camp.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someone surprises and he has really good chemistry with Bobby Brink and they put him up there.
Hopefully,
maybe
love Bobby Brink.
Maybe in an effort to establish the cycle, Tyson Forster gets up there.
Yeah, could see that. Definitely see how it shakes out. Do you want to discuss our last topic here? Or you just want to go into some bean time? You got any bean talking points?
Well, before we do that, I'm frozen again, so I don't know what it's looking like or sounding like.
No, you're looking good. We can keep this going live. We can keep this going. I'm not. We're not splicing 3 videos together. So.
No, that's too much.
Yeah,
twice. Sure, 3 too much. Bean time, baby. Right. So we talked about it at the top, and apparently it's hilarious that I am subscribed now to a quarterly bean club, heirloom bean club. But y'all just haters. I'm gonna have the best beans on the block. So yeah,
I'm looking at some of these beans on the RanchoGordo.com.
Oh, you pulled it up? Beans. Oh my god!
Let me share my screen for the YouTube viewers here. We can.
God. Not sponsored, by the way. We're just in the depths of the off season, so we have nothing else to do.
Black caviar lentil beans.
Mm-hmm.
You got a Buckeye bean.
That's what I'm getting this shipment.
Oh, the Buckeye bean. All right. You got the CC, the Cody CC bean.
The Chechi bean.
Chechi bean. Okay. All right. Yeah, cranberry bean. I didn't know there was such a thing, but apparently that's a thing here. Cranberry bean. Can you see this, or are you still frozen?
Nope, can't see it. But I have seen the website, so I know what you're talking about.
I'm sure you have. Garbazo bean, of course, classic.
Yeah, I was talking about it in the Slack, but the last what I used the cranberry beans for was something called embogone, which is an Italian beans and pasta dish. Let me see if I can find it. It's from this book called The Essentials of Classic Italian Cooking by Marcella Hazan, which for any of my chefy friends and listeners out there, you'll know it's like kind of the Bible of Italian cooking. I can't find it, but either way, embogone is it comes from the word for snails. So, oh, here it is. Yeah, cranberry beans, sage, and rosemary sauce with I used shelbows, but pappardelle is also suggested. Cranberry beans, pancetta, onion, garlic, sage, rosemary. It's delicious.
Look at that. You're not going to get that content from any other Flyers podcast out there, let alone a hockey podcast.
No, yeah. We'll once I get the first shipment, we'll start having a bi-weekly bean weekly bean segment. Oh God, the bean puns are just they were jumping in the Slack today.
They were jumping. Well, we finally figured out why you're such a fan of getting an Ottawa Senators center, because you want Pinto. You gotta get the Pinto bean. You're off the wait list now, so hopefully Danny Briere is soon up next to get off that wait list.
He's only got 1 year. He only got a 1 year contract from the Sens, right?
Did he? That seems. Let me pull up Puckpedia.
I'm pulling it up too. Let me see if it loads. He has. Oh no, it's 2 years. Dang.
Yeah, 2 years, $3.75 million, and then he's an RFA.
Offer sheet his ass. Although I don't know, he might just be a 2C ceiling. So I don't know if that.
Yeah, I saw an article on Bleacher Report by Adam Gretz looking at 5 potential offer sheet candidates for next year. I believe it was headlined by Matthew Nyes. Yes, Matthew Nyes. We know the Maple Leafs have a lot of big contracts there. Jake Neighbors, another winger, I'm pretty sure. Alex Holtz for the Knights just got. Capo Caco, Will Coley, or Matt Rempe, if you want to offer sheet Matt Rempe for some reason, because
Jesus, the Flyers would.
He's along with them, and then Devin Levi of the Buffalo Sabres, a young goalie who, could be the odd man out if Pekka Luukkonen is any good up there in Buffalo.
I kind of like Matthew Nyes. I'd be interested in that.
I just don't think the Flyers need another young winger. I don't think he can play center.
He's a left winger, though, I think. So that would help a bit. No, I mean, I'm looking at the Sens now. Ridley Grieg is an RFA at the end of this season as well, and he's a center. But I don't know if he might just be a middle 6 center, so I don't know if that does anything. I'll keep banging the drum to try and acquire Tim Stützle if Ottawa's going to do something real stupid.
Yeah, I'm in for that.
Yeah, or Marco Rossi if he is available for a decent price. I'm still okay with Trevor Zegras, but I'm not giving up a lot to get him.
Yeah, I think Zegras is like someone, like there's been so much kind of hype around him and he hasn't lived up to it. So everyone's like, oh, he's a bust. But he's 23, doesn't turn 24 till March. He's put up 60 points in 2 full seasons. Last year, half a point per game player while being hurt on a bad Ducks team. Like, I'd be all for bringing in Trevor Zegras. I don't know how you get him. I don't know if maybe you trade Kurt Overhart's guy Joel Farabee or maybe a Risto involved somewhere. But yeah, I'd be good for Zegras. I think he could be a 1C. I'm not sure about Marco Rossi's ceiling, but he's better than what they got right now.
Sure is. So this is off topic, but I'm looking at the Ottawa Sens page, and for those of you on Puckpedia, like it shows the Stanley Cups across the top. And for the Sens, it says 09, 10, 11, 20, 21, 23, 27. And it wasn't until I got to 27 that I'm like, what the fuck? Did someone Wikipedia edit the Puckpedia page and say the Sens won a bunch of cups in the past decade? And then I realized, oh no, that's like 1909, 1910, 1927.
Yeah, that's 100 years ago. So we think 1975 is bad, but I mean,
well, the Sens didn't have a team for a couple decades there, right?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah, they were founded again in 1992 is when they came back.
Part of an expansion.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Sharks and was it the Ducks? I don't remember. Florida?
May have been Florida because they made the Stanley Cup final in 95. I don't know. I'm not that old yet.
No. Hey, I was alive, but I wasn't really.
I was alive too. I wasn't really following NHL expansion teams, though.
Yeah. No, of course not. I was barely following like a direction from an adult, you know.
Yeah.
Cool.
All
But
right.
anyway, that's the beans. That's the beans.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to touch on here before we close it out?
I think we're pretty good. I think we covered a lot of ground there. Just Corey Pronman over at The Athletic has started his pipeline rankings. Flyers have obviously not been announced yet because pipeline's pretty solid. But it should come out later this week, which means we'll be able to talk about it next week and see how it parallels our 25 under 25, which tomorrow starts the top 10.
Ooh, exciting. This is where it gets some real debates. This is where it's like the players
I
that
disagree.
I
disagree completely. I think the back half is where there was more debate.
The back half are players you haven't seen play before.
Right.
The back half is players you haven't seen play. Like the top 10 is like, okay, I've seen this guy play. I know what he can be. This is what I think he can be. And like, why is he 7 instead of 3? Like I was looking through the Google sheet that Kurt shared with like all of our ballots, and there's a few, at the top that were notably off. I think there are a few people who won't put anyone number 1 until they play an NHL game. So that'll be a fun discussion.
Well, that was Kelly Hinkle last year putting Owen Tippett number 1 and Mishkov at like 5, which hilarious.
I think Maddie also did the same this year. Yeah, Maddie was the one.
What I saw is from like 12 plus, some like there was wide discrepancies between all of us and who voted for what.
Yeah.
But once you get into the top 10, we're pretty much in lockstep of who should be there. It's just like minor tweaks of like, should they be 5 or 6? Should they be 3 or 5? Like, but we all can agree they are top 10 in the system. But once you get outside the top 10, it's like, I think one of our I think it was Jason had like Adam Ginning ranked at like 14 and then didn't have Igor Zamula rated at all or something like that. So, there's like a wide variety of how things go outside the top 10. But in the top 10, everyone's kind of like, these are the guys. We just have different, personal guidelines for how we slotted them in.
Yeah. The bottom half can have more debates, but the top half can have more spirited debates because you have more to go off. Yeah, like for example, Oliver Bonk was ranked as highly as 2 and as low as 8. So like there's a big range there. Jet Luchenko was ranked between 3rd and 10th. Like there's a big range on a lot of these guys, which it shows the different criteria for voting, different how we view things. So should be fun to talk about.
And yours truly will be writing that Jet Luchenko
nice
write up.
Yeah, I think this might be spoiling a bit, but I think Thomas is interviewing. There was an Elite Prospects video on Jet Luchenko last week, and I think Thomas is interviewing the guy who did that video. So keep an eye out for that on the new Broad Street Hockey YouTube channel. We'll also be putting the Broad Street Hockey podcast feed. Make sure you also subscribe to us there. Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe everywhere. Give us downloads. Make us feel good. Leave us a rating and review on Apple, and I will read it here at the end of the show.
Yeah, for sure. Gilbs, where can they find you? You just told us everyone where they can find the blog, but where can they find you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop. And what about if anyone wants some Bean intel? Where can they find a Bean expert?
Oh, they can find me at Twitter at JF DeMarini. There's a lot to let simmer. A big old pot of beans as we approach the start of this hockey season.
If only the bean puns was still here.
Oh, if only the bean. Oh, simmer. That's a good one. Yeah. If there's still no news next week, maybe we will actually. We joked about it in the Slack chat, but creating a starting lineup of bean-related players. We have Shane Pinto. We have Jake Bean. And Cody Chechi. Yeah, because Mr. Chickpea Kakapipi. So maybe we'll actually draw that up next week. If you have any players that are bean themed, tweet me.
Yeah, we also want to do a mailbag sometime. So if you're still listening, have any questions, Flyers related, not Flyers related. It's getting close to training camp here. We're going to have actual stuff to talk about. So reach out to us on Twitter.
We've been talking about a mailbag for months and still haven't done it.
I check my mailbox every day and it's empty, and I get sad. Send up some questions. Who knows? Maybe the Flyers will do something crazy in the coming weeks because they can't be normal. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us. So until next time, thanks for listening.
Go Flyers.